20 bucks. 20 bucks. We're down the line for 20 bucks. You keep on playing. Hi guys, it's Jabor from Montreal. Hi everybody. Come into my kitchen, it's Maggie. This is Calabash. And I'd like to welcome you, and it's a rather dismal day. The news is dismal, but I've got something to cheer you up. Today I'm going to be making, it's an English pub dish, and it's chicken in a basket. Now when you go in the pubs in England, or certainly when I lived in England, in the north of England, we would have scampi in a basket, chicken in a basket, probably sausage in a basket, and it is literally served in a basket with some fries and a dip. It's finger food. But instead of using chicken wings or a quarter chicken, I'm using a chicken breast which I've cut into tenders, very thinly sliced so that they cook quickly. And then we're just going to put them in breadcrumbs and deep fat fry. So let's start, and also I'm going to make some apple cake. And the difference with this is it's all made in one bowl. So come over to the sink with me. I'm going to wash my hands, strain my apples because I've had them in lemon juice and water. So come on, come over to the sink with me. I've had the tap running, so I've got hot water. Let's make sure the hands are washed correctly. Let's just dry them. Ooh, my poor hands, as I suppose everybody else's, they keep getting washed and washed and washed and washed. When you're drying, just make sure you get round the finger, the fingers where it joins the hands. Otherwise they get sore. Now, back to the sink. In this bowl, I have, let me just show you. If you can see, I can't tip them up. I've got apples. There's 6 medium-sized apples in there. And I peeled, cored and sliced earlier. And to stop them going brown, I've put them in, there's lemon juice and water in there, then a lid on the top. And because the seal wasn't too great, I put cling film over that, because it's the air that makes it go brown. So I want to strain these. So come over to the sink with me. Let's just... So you can see they're not brown. So let's collect the recipes up. That's the chicken in a basket, and we're going to make a ranch dip as well. So for this, I've got 2 eggs, sugar, cinnamon, and canola oil. And just want to mix all this together. Like that. Just whisk it until it's all nicely mixed together. And instead of cooking in one big cake tin, I'm going to actually put them in cupcakes. 2 reasons. I've got portion control, and I can freeze them because I can't eat too much. And I like something like this at the end of the meal, just to give it a little bit of sweetness. So I'm going to add, we don't want to waste that, the apples to this. There we are. Let's put that in the sink. Just coat the apples so that they don't go brown as the oxygen gets to them. And in here, I've got flour. I'm using, because this is an English recipe, and our flours aren't as strong in England as they are here. I'm using a cake flour, but you can use flour's a little bit hard to get hold of at the moment, so you could use an all-purpose flour, or you could use a cake flour, and I've got the baking powder in with that. And it's just a question of mixing until all the flour has been absorbed. I've got the oven on. I've got it on at 360 because I'm making smaller cakes, and my oven is a little bit on the slow side. So we want to make sure that all the flour has been absorbed like that. And I'm only going to make up half a dozen. You don't want to see me make a vast amount up. So, and I've just got, these are medium-sized cupcake cases. I thought the colours might show, and they're not, because they're pretty coloured ones for Easter. But they're not showing, so that was a bit of a waste of effort, wasn't it? So let's just put these in there, like that. Whoa, come on. Move this out of the way. A larger one would have been easier. Never mind. We'll wipe up any mess that we make on the tray, because if you've got mess on there, it goes in the oven, it's going to burn. The kids can make these. They're so easy. Something to do with them on a wet afternoon. You could chop the apple into smaller pieces if you like. I like to have a good bite of apple when I'm eating this, but some people prefer the apple just to be chopped. It's entirely a matter of preference. There we are. And I'll put this on one side and finish this off after the programme. What, there we are. It doesn't want to sit there. Let's put that in like that. These are good for breakfast as well. I just like a bit of sweetness after the end of the meal. There we are. We're going to put those in, and hopefully they will be cooked by the time I've finished everything else. Let's just put these over here. I've got a clean cloth just to wipe the edges. Let's go and put these in the oven. Now, you see on the back here, I've got a fat pan. I'm just having a look. I've got the oil just heating up gradually. I'm going to wash my hands again. They're sticky. Come on, back to the sink. We'll rinse out this cloth. Now, don't forget, at the moment, it's very important for the cloths, your dishcloths, brushes, scouring pads, to be well and truly disinfected. I put mine into bleach. I water down some bleach, put them to bleach, and then I've got a very old pan. I put some laundry detergent in that and actually put the cloths into the pan, bring them up to the boil for about 5 to 10 minutes, and whilst I'm doing it, I scrush it down so everything gets washed, and then I hang them out on the line, rinse them, hang them out on the line to dry. And so do this 2 or 3 times a week at least, and then there's no germs hanging around in your dishcloths. It's quite horrifying actually, the amount of bacteria that can lie in your dishcloths. So we've got those cooking. Now, do I make the dip, or should we get onto the chicken? Let's make the dip whilst whilst the oil is heating. We might have to come to that. Now, with this dip, it really is very, very simple. I virtually made a quarter of what the recipe says. Whoops, what can we do with that? Let's just put it over there. And I made this earlier because it does thicken whilst it's in the fridge. And we're going to just check that. Now, the recipe asks for buttermilk. I never buy buttermilk. I just put some lemon juice in. And need a drop more lemon juice. Today, I don't have any fresh lemons, so I'm having to use this. Just a drop of lemon juice. There we are. And that will make buttermilk. It takes, you can see it's already turning into buttermilk. Sour cream. So I've managed to deplete most of the sour cream. The reason why I'm making a smaller amount is when I went shopping this week, I could only get this size cream. So I thought, okay, we don't need any more, that will work. So we've got the sour cream in there. Parsley, you can use parsley, you can use mixed herbs. I like this with, this is a lovely dip or dressing to have with salmon. Now, if I'm doing this with salmon, I put dill, dried dill weed in there. Minced garlic. Now, I don't have a garlic press. Oh, I do, but I never use it because I don't like cleaning it out. So, to get finely minced garlic, just press it with a knife, and when you've pressed it down, add some salt to it. The salt isn't abrasive, and it means that you can chop it finer. You can actually get a garlic paste by doing that. That's it. And a little onion powder. There we are. Mix this together like this, and we have the sour cream, the sour milk. Just add a little sour milk to that, and I'm going to put a drop more in and keep the rest of the sour milk on one side, because this thickens as it sits in the fridge. Now, I like to keep it in the fridge for at least an hour, and then you can taste the garlic, it all mixes in beautifully. So let's just put this in the fridge. Oh, hi. Hi, Ivy. How's Cooper doing? She's just got the most gorgeous puppy, Cooper. He's fantastic. I've not seen him yet because she had to close her store before I could get round to say hello to him, and he's growing rapidly. He's a Goldie, absolutely gorgeous. So hi, Ivy. Now this is the mixture that I made before. As I say, I made it quite loose, and it's thickened as the time has gone. And this is my extra little drop of buttermilk. So this is going into here like this. I love this dip. I can eat this dip with anything. There we are. So we're going to sit that there. Put that there, and that is going in my basket, which, as you can see, it's a basket that I've lined with kitchen paper. In England, we would line it with like the takeaway, with the rather nice, colourful pieces of the special takeaway paper. But you could use a serviette, or I like to use, if I've got a nice coloured serviette, I use that. But today we're using kitchen paper. Put that over there. Let's go back. I want to check that oil. I don't want it to get too hot. So come on, let's go back to the sink. I'm going mad. Back to here. And just go, look, I've got a fry. I want to put that in to see how it's doing. I don't have a thermometer. That's okay. I'm going to turn that down for a minute because we need to coat the chicken. So it's back to the drawing board. Let's go back over here. I've got flour in there for coating. This is going to drop down. Sorry about that. Listen, the hounds of the Baskervilles are going to start with the noise. Fresh breadcrumbs. If you haven't got fresh breadcrumbs and a food processor, use panko, the Japanese breadcrumbs. You don't want the really dried breadcrumbs. I like cayenne pepper in this, just to give it a bit of a boost. So let's just mix. You can put, if you don't want to put cayenne pepper in, a nice mixed herb in there. Dried mixed herb goes well. There we are. We've got that. And now we've got to get a workstation organised. Beaten egg. And chicken. There's 2 chicken pieces, chicken breasts here. And it just depends how hungry you are as to just how much you serve. Now we're going to dredge like that. I'm just going to cook for 1, and then the rest can go, I'll cook it later. So turn it over, come on, like that. And then they're going to go into the breadcrumbs, like so. We'll cook a few more pieces up. There we are. I find fingers easier than using the tongs, but you can also, if you don't like to touch the chicken, or you feel that it's not correct in this day and age at the moment to be touching the chicken, then put a pair of gloves on. Just make sure they're not latex, and then you can get rid of the gloves. There we are. I'm going to, that should be about a serving. So I'm going to just put that chicken back in the fridge. Let me wash my hands. We'll get rid, just put this on one side, and we can come back to this later. Keep this in the fridge. I did take that out about 15 minutes before the show, because the meat then relaxes and you get a much more tender meat than if it comes straight out of the fridge. So let's just clear this mess up. And obviously, any breadcrumbs that are left over are thrown away. You can't reuse them. I always keep, because as you know, I make my own bread and I get the ends of the bread. And so I put them through the food processor. I've got a container in there and I freeze the breadcrumbs. So I've always got fresh breadcrumbs. Coming in handy when you want to stuff a turkey or a chicken. And you don't waste anything. There we are. Let's go back. That is hot enough. Ah, I've got somebody else. Hi, Laurie. You can come for lunch and we'll try it. When all this is over, we'll have it. Okay? I'll see you. Thanks. Right. So the potato, the chip fry just came to the top. Now I like to use, as you saw the other day on Mrs. Calabash on the chat show, I like a high-sided pan if I'm frying. I have a fear of, I have this fear of fire. Apparently, during the war, this is at the end of the war, I was in Norwich, where I was born, and I keep having this reoccurring nightmare. I can see the embers coming down, the flame, the hot. And apparently, as a small child, I was in an air raid, and because Norwich was very badly hit, and it's just one of these things. I'm absolutely terrified of fire. Just keep turning these over. And when I was little, I used to literally bolt down the road if I saw a fire engine. And one day, I'm going to turn that fat up now. And one day, we lived in a farm cottage in Lincolnshire, and I could see smoke coming out of the barn. I'd got a manufacturing unit there. And so without thinking, I dashed over and got the buckets organised. The farm workers were inside, got out the sheep, and ever since then, the nightmares have stopped. So I didn't even think. The sheep needed getting out because it was lambing time. This time of the year, they were lambing and they couldn't be left in there, otherwise they would die. I'm just going to turn this on. Because I want to keep these warm. You see, look, they're coming up nice and crispy. You can do this with quarter chicken, chicken breasts, but for finger food, I think it's better just to do it this way. There we are. We'll take one out and have a look to make sure it is cooked. There we are. Look, nicely cooked. No pink inside. Lovely. That is my scooper outer. Great for fish and chips. I just want to turn them over like this just to make sure that everything is cooking. We don't want them brown, we don't want them burnt, but we want them cooked through. You see, it's great because the fat, the oil all comes through. There's one chip. We left a little bit. Bring that up to the heat again. Let's put those in there. I think we're going to put that down to the bottom. Otherwise it's going to catch fire. It's just on warm. There we are. Just to keep it warm. Now, if you're an absolute purist, you will have, and in the restaurant trade, when I had the restaurant, I used to have one fat pan for protein, be it fish, chicken, sausages, and another one for the fries, the chips, because it does alter the fat, but I don't at home. And when I had the restaurant in France, it was an English restaurant, and the only thing they wanted was fish and chips to begin with, and could they have it wrapped in newspaper? And I said, well, I'll do you fish and chips, but I'm not wrapping it up in newspaper, so I use craft paper. Now look, I've got a whole load of chips cooked here, and this is what we used to do in the restaurant trade. Now, I'm not a restaurateur. I came to it by accident, but this is what we do anyway when we're cooking for a crowd. So these have been blanched, the chips, and I like to keep the skin on. I put a chip in like that, a fry, and when it's ready, it just comes up to the boil. It just comes up to the surface. So I'm going to put in enough for, they're already cooked through, so all we need to do is just crisp the outside. I made sure that they were cooked through, and I like to do this if I'm cooking at night. If I'm cooking fish and chip at night, I like to do this because I'm tired at night. I don't want to be standing over the stove, so I normally prepare the chips during the day, and then I've just got to finish them off. You see? Doesn't take long, and I can smell. Ooh, they look good. These are actually cooked. Let's take these out. Push these to one side, and I want to put the chips, the fries, just in there so that they can drain. Like that. There we are, you see. Let's go and put them in the basket. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put a little bit of salt on the chips. Let's get rid of this. Takes me back. Takes me back, takes me back. So let's just put a little salt on the chips and the chicken. So I'm going to put the dip in the centre. Ooh, I've got somebody else. Hi, Bob. Hope everything's going fine for you. Bob is a very, very old friend of mine. Lives in Kingston. And we met actually doing a craft show many, many years ago at Elgin, wasn't it, Bob? So hope you and John are keeping well, and thanks for looking in. One of these days, when everything is back to normal and the spring's here, we'll get over to Kingston and we'll see you. We'll go out. We'll go out for lunch. We've had some really nice times with Bob. I remember John's, I think it would be 65th or 70th birthday party, and he made, because they have a cottage on Lowborough Lake, and he christened his canoe, and he made this absolutely gorgeous canoe. It really was. It was a lovely day. Nice summer weather. Hot. One chip's jumped in. There we are. I'm going to have to use my fingers. It's no good. I'm not very elegant. No, elegance has never been my, sophistication's never been my middle name. There we are. And that is all there is to chicken in a basket. Let's put this over here because it is a little bit warm. Rinse my hands again. The little bits. And look, oh, it's jumped in. It's determined. No, they're determined to go in there. And that, I don't know if you can see. There's the chicken in the basket. So you sit round the pub table. Oh, I do believe. No, what's that? Oh, I thought I might have a can of beer in here. Let's have a look. On the door. On the door. On the door, I drank that. Oh no, I didn't. I had a can of beer. I made pizza the other night, and I haven't had a can of beer for years. And I paid for it with the blood sugar, with the pizza, but it was good. And this is wet your thistle. Just enough briny hints from fresh oysters mixed with smooth roasted chocolate. And it's from Perth Breweries. So it's local. You can go down, guys. So I'm not going to open it because I won't be drinking it. But a beer, chicken in a basket, chips or fries, and you're made. Sit in front of the telly, binge, watching your favourite programmes, and there you are. Bob's your uncle and Fanny's your aunt, as we say in England. So let's have a look, see how the cakes are doing. I've got my trusty little prodder. Let's have a look. They might have to go out. It's gone on the floor. I might have to just leave them for another minute or two. I'm not quite sure. Let's have a look. They're smelling okay. No, they're cooked. I won't turn the oven off because I'm going to be putting the other ones in a few minutes. The hounds of the Baskervilles are starting again. Let's see if I can get no, I need a knife. They've got the devil in them today, the dogs. I don't know what has got into them. It's spring. Believe you me. I'm going to put them on this little dish. This is Derek's nan's dish. Very English. So we've got an English dish, 2 English dishes, and a plate to put them on from England. So let's just take these out. It is better if you could let them cool just a little bit in the tin. But we'll get one more out and we'll let the rest just cool in there. Boom, boom, boom. There we are. We'll get rid of this. And there you are, everyone. That's a meal in itself. So thank you very much for watching. Please don't forget, go on to Mrs. Calabash Cooks on Facebook, like and share with a friend. and I will see you all on Tuesday at 7:30. We can't do our normal chat because obviously we can't invite anyone in. So this week I'm going to show you how to make an Easter dessert that you can put in the make beforehand. It's an idea that I used to do in the restaurant. Put it in the freezer, bring it out when you need it, and just decorate it there and then. It'll be a chocolate gâteau by the time it's finished. So look forward to seeing you on Tuesday. Please stay safe, stay well, and thank you very much for watching. And bye everyone. Bye Bob. Bye Ivy. Bye Laurie. Bye everyone. 20 bucks. They're on the line for 20 bucks. You keep on playing. Nobody's paying. No than some nickels and some dimes. 20 bucks. 20 bucks. They've opened me for 20 bucks. They can pay the rent on the money that they spent.